Make our way into the picks
Draft.
for the first time. Let's see what it looks like.
Außerdem Captain Klaus erzählt Duocast? Hast du das gehört?
Yone. This just is pretty much Team Liquid permaban. APA never plays it. It's always strong, so Team Liquid always feels the pressure to need to ban that one away. Poppy and Gwen also banned out. On the other side, Varus and...
Das heißt, wie die Cosplayer bei League gewählt werden, das ist so wie halt Leute, die Fanarts machen. So, Honey hat zum Beispiel heute, also die hatte quasi ein Projekt für Fankarten, die jeweiligen Spieler in der LEC. Und das hat auch die LEC retweetet zum Beispiel so, richtig cool. Wollen wir da vor Ort? Nein, das Spawn ist nicht vor Ort.
The best mid lane.
Immer noch Ding First Pick, okay, passt.
Funny enough, Talia did not get hit in any of these.
Ja, wenn jetzt Talia gehen, die gehen Talia, Wukong.
But Talia is still there.
Talia, Wukong, dann gehst du was?
Want to prioritize
Dann
that
gehst du
first
was
tier
so?
for themselves as the clock just about runs out. And no, instead they are going to put Yuji on the Vi.
Yeah. We'll see if 100 Thieves are going to pick up that Talia. I think it's been something they've been...
So, Talia, Wukong, dann gehen wir was? So, Victor oder so?
When
Aurora? Aurora, oder?
in the jungle.
Ion 1, 2, what?
And then also for Quid in the mid lane.
Die geben jetzt noch Talia ab. Talia ein besser.
It's so interesting because they could have just grabbed Trundle later on. Like,
Talia ein besser, oder nicht? Ja, aber zweite, ich glaube, Limited gewinnt. Ich glaube, New Champion spawning January 26, Glückwunsch.
As that combo. I thought that when they were grabbing the Vi, they were for sure giving up the Talia to the other side. But instead, they do have the opportunity to grab it. Talia, Vi,
Wait.
Rumble, definitely.
Huh? Der ist auch noch offen. Oh mein Gott, Talia Rumble, bitte.
I do think this is potentially his best carry champion.
Ja, aber hä?
So it is going to be, I think, a really strong.
Ich verstehe diesen Rumble Sion Trade, die Leute müssen aufhören, ihn zu nehmen. Der Champion ist so viel schlechter. Das ist so ein Unterschied an Skill-Level. Oder ein Champion-Level.
Raw champion strength, but also just in terms of what these players can do. You pointed out impact. I actually think alongside the Ziggs, Talia is APA's best champion, right? I think he really excels on picks like this.
Ja, Talia ist solid.
The map, as well as his team fighting on
das ist strong, aber das ist komplett OP, ja.
They have that locked in. Really great start to
Das ist komplett OP.
And when you think about Team
Warte, welcher Skin ist das?
What made this team
welcher Skin war das?
Excellent when they were at the top of the standings, when they did run the league. Everybody looks back to the lane swap era. They look back to Team Liquid's macro play. So when they're drafting, they have a lot of opportunities to set things up across the map, make those plays as a team. That's where
Victor solid.
That's where I want to see them shine again. That's where I want to see them look really sharp if they want to try to get back to the days of being a contender with the Fly Quests and the Cloud9s.
Super safe Option natürlich Tanks, aber das hier ist halt wieder cool. Zwei Items gehört komplett Team Liquid. Die wollen Lucian Braum oder sowas in die Richtung. Oder Rakan gebannt. Oder Jin Ban.
On some of these tankier champions,
in Sivir.
Looked as strong
Lucian Braum aim.
as he has on carries, just with basic fundamentals.
Oh, ich kann noch Senna bannen. Jin Senna bannen?
They kind of slammed this Ion for him.
Ban alles da. Okay, sie waren
It's honestly really interesting. It's such a similar draft, kind of what we saw from Cloud9 versus Lion yesterday, where Lion went for this like super scaling comp with Trundle, Sion, Azir, Sivir, like all of this sort of front to back style. And it seems like that is what 100 Thieves is going for. And C9 had that same first, top side of the map where they did have the Talia, the
Lucian,
as well as the Rumble. We know obviously how that one went, where C9 was able to really out-execute in these fights and create a big advantage. But I do think this sort of
Sie bannen Jin.
So far 100 Thieves is drafting for.
Bannen die jetzt Lucian? Weil die denken, die gehen Lucian auf 4?
I think also everybody's expecting today's matchups to be closer than yesterday's matchups just because of the way things have to be seeded in that Swiss type of order for the pick your fight format that we've got for the first 3 weeks. Yesterday was split to number 1 versus number 8 and number 2 versus number 7. Those should be the most matchups that we have, whereas today, these teams placed much closer in the standings.
I don't think so. Sie bannen Senna.
Should be much more closely ranked in terms of skill. And it
welcher Champion ist es?
Head-to-head as a lot
of Talia?
bands coming out on both sides. No surprise there.
Ist es Talia?
Teams drafted their solos and their jungles in the first half. It's Senna, Alistar, Jin, and Rakan all big.
Aber Team Liquid Botlane mag Aphelios. Und der Aphelios Droplan.
Yeah, so you're expecting it to be Lucian Nami, Lucian Braum, Lucian Julio, basically one of those three. Lucian Braum
okay.
was much
die mögen Aphelios.
So we definitely could get that. And I think that Braum works really well, as a pick into what is looking very heavily dive focused from TL. So
wir können Aphelios Braum gehen, I love it.
If he wants to play something that's a bit more backline or something along the lines of like Kaisa that can fly in and kind of follow up on a lot of this dive. And it is going to be the Kai'Sa route. So like Kai'Sa Nautilus to me seems fairly obvious. But if you
ich würde sagen Kai'Sarel, können die auch gehen. Maybe Kai'Sarel. Nautilus ist auch fein, aber Kai'Sarel, alles da ist gebannt.
I think answers a lot of what TL is trying to do very, very well.
Yeah, it also means that if 100 Thieves can kind of mitigate the early playmaking that TL has,
Nicht nur gefühlt.
they will have some really, really excellent 5v5 team fighting later on in the game. The Rel actually going to be locked in for core. And we'll see. There's the Braum answer. Yep.
Yep. I mean, you know, Rel I think does very similar things. Like I was talking about this yesterday.
Ja, 2 Minuten zum Abstimmen.
A lot of the support from that kind of pool do very similar things. Well. Leona, Alistar, Rakan.
Let's get to work. Ich habe 2 Stunden,
Nautilus are all, it's all just kind of dealer's choice, right? It's what do you prefer? What do you think fits best in this opportunity? And Rel obviously going to be able to really be strong, you know, as far as the engage tools here to set up the equalizer, to follow up on this Vi plus the Leah combo. It's all about the dive, and it's kind of about if 100 Thieves can protect Quid and FBI. I feel like that's what the team fights are going to come down to. So we're going to have to see. You know,
das werden wir im großen starten, niemals.
Doing a really good job.
Das eine Cosplay ist Hui auf jeden Fall. Das ist Hui. Das ist doch Hui, oder nicht? Das ist doch confirmed Hui.
To this dive.
So where do you guys want to see the action happen, specifically from the team?
Das ist Spielblossom Hui.
Since they're the ones who need to make these dives, need to make these plays and get things going versus the scaling, the more traditional approach.
Das ist Spielblossom Hui. Und was ist der rechte Skin?
Where should TL be focusing in this early game to make the plan?
I want to see them focus mid lane. I just think that Talia Vi as a combo is so powerful.
Aphelios.
Not only is it a really
good Blossom
up,
Aphelios.
Getting the stun from Yuji and then having the seismic shove there to follow it up. If you get Prio in mid, then it can move the side lanes and really start to attack those side lanes as a squad. So I think it should be about mid lane. It should be about getting Prio there for APA. Well, they are working together as a
da war so ein blaues Band drin.
Real practice time with the team to really get on the same page.
Prestige.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. I'm also curious to
Prestige
see what
they're
doing with the spot lane. If Core is going to get
you're right.
Early, depending on how the bot
das ist für
and then if they get pressure from this Rumble on top side, that actually just allows so much more room for Vi and to kind of make a lot of early plays.
What the hell?
I think on the other side, you know, I do think, you know, when we saw this exact kind of similar.
Warum sind beide schon wieder low?
I did think there was an opportunity to really attack the Rumble.
Ja, ein bisschen Damage from die Freaks.
Go like super defensive route and go phase rush and this kind of stuff. You can get ran down very easily by Sion plus Trundle.
Oh nein.
Could be potentially in a little bit of trouble here.
Einer? Ja.
That'll be fine.
Geht das Overlay eigentlich wieder? Irgendwo könnt ihr da draufklicken? Ich meine 5, könnt ihr da draufklicken? Geht es wieder?
But nothing crazy. Both sides just doing the typical early warding of the jungle.
Bravo.
Impact placing down the chicken ward to keep an eye on where River is going to pass.
Ja.
On your screen
Wenn ihr Infos haben wollt, da
this is
klickt.
that rivalry that we're talking about. These teams have met so many times. The LCS 2018 Spring Finals in Miami, TL 3-0'd 100 Thieves, set the record at the time for the fastest final in NA. The next time they would meet in the finals, LCS 2021 summer, 100 Thieves do it right back to them and then break that record.
Krank. Aber 3-0 aber im Closer.
So plenty of heavy hits coming in from both sides here. And then you could see in the 2025 Split 1 finals down there in Brazil, it was Team Liquid emerging victorious yet again. And now with 100 Thieves leaving the league at the end of the year.
Auch der Uzi-Skin, ne? Der Uzi-Chroma auf Lucian.
Between these two teams, and I'm really excited to see how the final chapter plays out between them.
And even in some of these
Uzi Kaiser gegen Uzi Lucian Chroma.
To bring it back to Jan's point in that interview, like it's always a banger. These two teams really, really like fighting each other. In particular, 100 Thieves just kind of likes fighting everyone. But
mal gucken, die sollen nicht nur kriegen, die sollen auch einen Sub geben.
I feel like even some of the 3-0s we've seen have been really
good. Yes, sir.
And I feel like that was kind of
yes, sir.
This newer TL style where they started playing a lot more aggressive and actually looking to fight all the time. You know, it was back in the playoffs against them where we saw, you know, TL kind of had these interviews after playing against 100 Thieves where they said, you know what, we actually have decided we're not going to just like back off anymore. Yeah. We're going to fight for everything. We're stronger. We're showing up to your red buff. We're showing up to the Raptors.
We're showing up mid. APA about to go down, and it's
sehr guter Gank.
Back to the dome. River getting paid. First blood, 100 Thieves.
This is classic River. Right? The level 3 gank, recognizing where he wants to go, and also a kind of counter to what Azael was talking about, right? You want to see the Vi get off early and then be able to influence around the map.
Wir haben 3 Minuten Dinge. Warum rennt mein Lucian Level 2 top?
River, don't expect to see him there. Ends up getting first blood on
Was?
He'd only done 3 camps and not even 3 full
love-
camps. I think he
love
missed a
to
mini
see it.
Raptor.
Yeah.
So
Quit.
he only had 11 CS.
He really
Quit und die Botlane wahrscheinlich. River retired wohl nach dem Jahr, muss Militärdienst machen. Sniper ist okay. Sniper, die werden wahrscheinlich alle ein Team finden, to be honest.
But dying while expending his flash means this Talia is now even more vulnerable. So here it is. Takes a chomp out of a couple chickens. Yeah, that last... Okay, never mind. The chicken did
He
die.
got the chicken, yeah.
Maybe
Wow.
one of the...
This is actually really clever. He knew
Okay.
it was warded. So
Sehr
basically, you
stark.
can see
Hey. Du Drecksau.
what he did is he plays around the fact that they have vision. So he's giving APA that sense of security. He walks out through that side brush knowing he would be on vision, then wraps fully all the way around. And APA is saying, yeah, of course, he's clearing top to bottom. He's going to do a 6-camp clear. But they used the vision against them. I think APA would have played that pretty differently. And that is just so intelligent from River. And one of the things that I think makes him such a good jungler is really using the information that your opponents have against them.
Yeah, he's so smart in these situations. As we see a little bit of a lane swap coming through.
Also, wir brauchen jetzt am Hut, das ist
with
richtig.
Sniper down in this
Das ist
bot
richtig.
lane. And Impact getting really push-shoved back.
I guess deswegen swappen wir, aber die haben halt TP.
It's not too big of a deal. He'll just TP right
Botline
back.
snipe, I mean...
Had full prio on top side, so they moved FBI up so that Sniper could base on low health, TP down towards bot. Very
die
very
Wave slow
on the
push
sea,
ist so
but
awkward.
UG is moving down here, and they're going to try to see if they can...
Ja, die können diven. Die können diven, die haben genug Damage, 100%. Core JJ tankt.
UG ready to come in here. We're
Yeah,
immediately going to
passed.
start off. Core JJ tank at the tower aggro. Sniper down to
Fuck.
100 HP, and that was easy for TF.
Er hat die Wave, aber das passt.
Flash past the shattering strike there from Core JJ, but got...
Das Team ist noch Pro-Play, na claro. Sí, claro.
Didn't have any ability to actually outplay there.
So, Impact.
Down, no problem, and now...
Du alter Gießer.
Pressure Impact off at the very least. Impact likely to have to give up this wave.
Was machen wir, Ank?
So can't actually just drop the equalizer on the wave.
Keine 6 Minuten, das heißt, Core JJ kann er nicht TP nehmen.
Knows
Gut.
it's risky, and that is why the bot lane is running straight up towards top to cover.
And it's the next chapter of what you were just talking about with earlier. He had
Nicht als AA sollen, ja, I guess, in der Theorie.
chunk of
Ja.
health that he lost. Now having just spent the teleport,
Waves gehen geil, ja.
the turret and losing the
Ich habe ihn schon Olli spielen sehen. Das ist cool.
Play it more cautiously.
Aber ja, schau,
Just
Speedrun.
into the river here now, though. It's stunned by Ayla and FBI, who aren't going to continue forcing the trade too much harder. But at the same time, UG taking the dragon on the bottom side of the map as TL brings up reinforcements. Jan and Core JJ backing up Impact, forcing FBI and Ayla back underneath the turret.
This does mean, though, that no one is actually down answering the bot wave. So because they kept Impact around so long topside, and he has no
Wie schaut in der Prime League aus?
plate, and you're going to lose, I think, 2 full waves, if not more, on this bot side. So yes, TL do make a successful dive on the bot side, but then the fact that they didn't move anyone down bot to answer means they kind of just have that gold lead wiped away. It's pretty close to equal now at this point, off of what should have, I think, been a pretty significant advantage.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see how much that is going to affect this mid game, right? Because they did get Drake off of it, which is nice, and they might be able to set up for Grub Prio here, which is what they're looking like they're doing on this top side. But I'm really glad you called that out. Now Rumble is going to be able to catch that wave bot, but Sniper kind of pulls ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of funny, you know. Sniper got bullied heavily in the 1v1, got dove where...
Er kann halt die Wave catchen, ne? Das ist halt, also... Der eine wird halt gesund, der andere stirbt dafür, aber der andere, also der stirbt, catcht halt die Waves.
It's actually going to be able to answer that.
Ja.
In fact, we'll be able to push in this wave, but
Busy
Sniper's gonna be there in
undankbar.
time to catch it. So Sniper going to be in a really comfortable position despite what looked like a tough start for him.
Okay, so Emily, you already mentioned earlier how we want to be able to see the Talia get unlocked a little bit, move around the map. Well, right now, the grubs are going to be spawning here in about 45 seconds.
Ich mag den Liquid
Got
mehr.
our movement ultis online on both
Ich mag
sides.
persönlich den Liquid mehr.
APA's Weaver's Wall is ready to fire. Sniper
Mag Jon und Core JJ,
also
der
has the
sind sehr
Scion
gut.
ulti to charge in and join these fights if they need him. And I want to see who's going to make the play for the grubs first. FBI and Ayla currently have priority over that top lane. You can see FBI about to hit level 6 on the Lucian. Culling can be a big tool in terms of fighting for position over these objectives as well.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, as you already pointed out, right, 100 Thieves have Prio on this top side, and Quid has kind of had Prio in mid lane since that gank, right? So he's going to be able to back. River kind of already had cleared out a bit of vision on this top side, and he is passing
Danach noch ein bestes
towards
3, ja,
that
2
grub
beste 3.
area, so it's going to be a lot about that, and even though
Boah, also wenn Core JJ die ganze Top-Lane-Wave nimmt, hätte er, glaube ich, 6 und Ayla
I
nicht.
feel like 100 Thieves have a really good job. They should be able to contest. Here's River.
Patch of River.
Okay.
Oh, gut von ihm gelesen.
Nope, Yuji's just going to go ahead.
Gut von ihm gelesen.
Into the grub pit, and Team Liquid's going to start it up. River walks into the unraveled earth, takes a chomp out of APA, but not a ton of damage onto either player. Team Liquid already.
Problem Wave muss natürlich jetzt gecatcht werden.
Now they will back away. They don't want to overcommit for this. They don't want to overplay their hand as 100 Thieves moves into position. And now it's 100's turn to grab themselves at least one guaranteed grub. You can see Team Liquid is still hanging around, but because Yuji has already changed his aggro over to the blue buff, Core JJ is just looking around, clearing out a couple of wards. Should be a 2-1 grub split, and there it is. River is going to secure the majority of the grubs for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and so we didn't see any sort of explosive fight, but 100 Thieves were able to get in, take over, get the objective, despite the fact that TL were able to grab that grub. So no 3 grubs for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and I think 100 Thieves are going to be pretty happy with the pace of the game so far. I mean, they have a top side that is obviously
Roll of Ages Oriana.
That it's going to be difficult to deal with here.
Boah, ja, du kannst, ja, nein, es kann halt wieder nicht gut sein.
Especially with their new jungler, with Yuji.
Will halt, also Oriana will sich quasi zu einem Target weniger machen für die Vi-Kombo, aber dann geh Sonjas, Bro.
In with Umti. And when you are playing Vi, you are
Dann geh Sonjas.
under a lot of pressure to find those angles
Ich kann's nicht
immediately
akzeptieren.
when they show themselves and to make sure that it is a good engage as well. Because if you choose that wrong fight, it is a one-way delivery system of 300 gold straight to the other team.
And we saw it yesterday, right? You pointed out that C9 ran something like very, very similar to this, right? And it was Blabber's teamfight targeting in that really being able to get immediately on to Saint's Azir that allowed so much follow-up from the Equalizer, right? From the Taliyah flick back. So we'll see if TL are able to pull off.
Dann müssen wir das nicht auch machen? I mean,
UG leading the charge.
ja.
All right, 30 seconds till our next objective spawns, and everything on both sides of the aisle is locked and loaded, ready to go. We've got all the summoner spells. We've got all the ultimates. I fully expect to see some kind of a contest coming out here, as both teams are still very close in terms of their overall power, in terms of their overall gold. 100 Thieves do have control over the bot side river right now with that Scuttle Crab vision secured. FBI picking up the honey fruits to top off his resource bars, clearing out some of the vision there alongside Ayla, and Team Liquid now stepping up.
Ja, Yuji kam okay rein.
Yuji with them last split, the games that he did play, you know, they were kind of going back and forth between him and Umti, and then now he has taken over that starting spot here. Obviously, they did fall.
Also im Pro spielen alle Uzi, ja.
Which was a surprise based on preseason expectations. So a lot of pressure on Yuji's shoulders now to be able to deliver. This is a team that is used to winning championships, and that is the expectation that is being set for them.
Okay, TP coming in from 100.
Das kann kein guter Contest sein, oder nicht?
The Drake Quids here, FBI's here. They got plenty of firepower, but Yuji, Core, and Yon want to step up and look to challenge this. Nice use of the pillar there, coming out from Trundle as River is going to get ulted. Yuji goes in, but the focus is only the enemy jungler.
Oder? River hat Flash noch ab, by the way.
APA's on the backside of the
River hat noch
fight, not doing anything just yet.
Der ist tot, okay.
Yon goes for the killer
Boah, Equalizer suboptimal. Yuji Flash engaged. Wo kommt Sion? Sion kommt jetzt angefahren.
The flash is forced. Sniper finally arrives to the fight, but it's way too little, way too late. 100 Thieves got themselves the objective, and Team Liquid gets a punish.
Ja, proper spielen alle Uzi Kaiser.
Bit of a, I'll say questionable there on the backside of that fight, but TL are able to end up cleaning up in this fight. I want to see this again because it ended up being pretty split, right? So you have 100 Thieves secured.
Drake secured für einen Kill.
Then they go on to River. He gets stunned up. Ayla's Braum actually does quite a bit of work with the exhaust onto Yon and then the follow-up from the Oriana Shockwave.
Emotional Flash. Na, ich glaube, da kannst du wieder easy tanken.
Core back out of
der Emotional Flash
there, so kind of pulled him back off of what was supposed to be his big engage. And then this is that ultimate you were talking about, you know, Sniper arriving very late at the end of the day. TL were in position with the extra man. They should have been able to actually at least contest on the smite though. But I think Yuji kind of hesitated on, do I want to flash into the pit? Do I want to ult into the pit? Like, how do I want to actually go for this? He started turning the wall breaker, got interrupted by the pillar, and by the time he actually ulted in, the dragon was already gone. But I don't think 100 Thieves really been able to take that because they were in, you know, a 5v4 situation.
Die Kaiser war Uzi Kaiser. Ich habe Uzi Kaiser noch nie gespielt. Ich weiß nicht, wie die Animations sind, ob die halt richtig clean sind.
So a little bit of hesitation there from TL does mean that at the end of the day, 100 Thieves walk away with that dragon and are going to be really happy to do so.
Also want to mention, we saw in the picture-in-picture during the replay that Impact forced the flash out of Sniper in the bottom lane 1v1 after that whole Dragon fiasco was taken care of. So Sniper, late to arriving there, also ends up giving the flash away for free. Gonna have to make sure that he's sharpening up some of these small mistakes that could start costing 100 Thieves as we move forward. It's only 45 seconds left until the plates are down, until we start to see bigger team-wide movements coming together towards bigger fights. The Rift Herald's gonna be spawning in under 2 minutes. Both sides still very, very close in terms of what they've got here as we're seeing these first items come online. You've got the Trinity Force and the Sundered Sky in the jungle. 2 stacks on the Rod of Ages for Quid, and you've got the... What is the name of that stupid thing? Archangel Staff. I always remember Seraph. It's Archangel Staff that sometimes trips me. The Archangels building towards the Seraph's Embrace for AP. Still got about
Show das mit 2 Lebensjahre mit eurem disgusting Gameplay heute.
And a lot of times people are pretty critical of these kind of like more...
In eurem disgusting Gameplay kann ich jetzt den Rest der Prime nicht schauen.
But honestly, I am not against it whatsoever when you're playing against this kind of a team comp, right? It is all about the one-shot for TL, where they're going to go in there and when you have that extra HP, the extra durability from the Roa, plus you have a Braum, plus you have a Locket now down on the Braum, all of these tools are going to make it so hard for TL to
Das Problem ist, dass TL halt also 2 schöner Flash von LTA. Gut. Ich wollte gerade sagen, wenn Team Liquid 2 Items hat, ist es halt sehr, sehr unangenehm für die.
Yeah, they go in. They did force the flash off of FBI. That's really what he got, but FBI able to react really well to that, and then they just turn around and they burst down.
Und da rennen die so rein.
So it's gonna
Flash von FBI natürlich. Into Trundle Ulti drauf, One-Shot.
Core does die, but there's no objective for them to actually take. There's nothing really to grab. So if you can get back and actually punish this missing flash at the next Dragon fight or at the next major team fight, it might still not be a bad engage from Core.
Yeah, and we'll see that next objective coming up really soon on this top side as we see kind of River already moving in, as well as TL with Core and Yuji onto this Rift Herald.
Okay, Team Liquid's got control over the pit right now. 100 Thieves still hanging around. River chomping a couple of chickens in the meantime while Yuji's going to go ahead and begin the objective. Ayla is close enough to get some eyes on this. See that Team Liquid is already starting it up. Scryer Trinket into the pit will guarantee the truth on that. 100 Thieves ready to step up and challenge. River's in range for a smite fight. UG and APA continue to back away. FBI approaching from the side, and it's 100 Thieves now with
my God, UG gegrieft.
River, UG in some danger, tries to ult back in and make something
happen. Das war disgusting von UG. Das war disgusting.
Thieves guaranteeing that they're going to grab the kill on that one. Core JJ for the engage now, goes for the crash down.
Das war ein schöner Q. FBI lebt.
But he doesn't quite drop.
Oh, Jon.
Goes in for the killer instinct and flashes back out.
Sexy solo play. Impact turned around off River. Oh my.
And Impact falls before he can get anybody.
Oh my days,
takes
bro.
Another kill. And 100 Thieves is up 2-1 in the overall trade. Nobody even gets the Herald there just yet.
These fights are so split, it seems, especially from TL. It feels like they're hesitant. They're almost afraid to commit. And when they do, it is here where they recognize, okay, we can get Pillar onto UG, even though he tries to get out, ends up dying. Impact actually kind of saves this for TL on the back half as he comes in here. We get that equalizer immediately onto FBI.
Exactly. They're trying to punish this missing flash from FBI. They get in, they get the assassination there. Jan is able to kill him off.
Balmy ist so ein insaner Spell.
Cannot finish off Ayla on the side here.
So ein lächerlicher OP-Spell.
River is able to get out as well, but to me, UG is just kind of split from the team there, right? And even when he ults in, no one's in range to follow up with the seismic shove. There's no ability.
Ich mag die Team Liquid Botlane.
So
Also wahrscheinlich ein bisschen mehr
Team Liquid. That he is coordinating well with the team. I think had he played it a little bit more.
Generell meine Sympathie in NA ist C9 over everything und danach Blacklist.
Yeah, and we talked about how this team composition works, right? Like with UG being able to get onto a high priority target and then the follow-up from Talia and then the follow-up from Rumble, right? And we haven't yet seen that because they've been just slightly out of sync. We did just see a little bit of a trade of objectives with 100 Thieves grabbing a second Drake for themselves and a little bit of pressure onto this bot side turret.
Yeah, I mean, especially because FBI was such an obvious target, right? You forced his flash right before that. That was supposed to be the payoff where they show up and UG also gets hit by the seismic shove. He gets 100 to 0 right off the bat, and then you win that fight off of that. But clearly it did not work out in that way. And Core's going to have to be a little bit careful here.
Yeah, Core JJ caught in a bit of a difficult position. River and Ayla continue marching forward.
Das sind gute Patches. Gute Patches.
Easy pick on the Team Liquid support.
Yeah, and I think that has been, thus far, the difference for me is that 100 Thieves have just looked a little bit more coordinated.
Oh, over the wall, Ayla, nice engage there. The Glacial Fissure, aggressive Braum ulti leads to a payday for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves spielt nicht schlecht. Ohne Spaß, die spielen nicht schlecht.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, he goes in, the rest of the team is ready to go in with him, though. And that's been the crucial difference in these two teams. Now, Quid is actually about to clean up this first turret for them. And yeah, 100 Thieves off
Das war sehr
a
insane.
little bit of a gold lead now for themselves.
Yeah, they're going to claim feats off that. That was a sick Braum engage, honestly, over the wall. Kind of showing Core how it's done. He's looking like the better engage tool on the Braum here. Flashes over the wall, you know, able to hit both members with the knock up there. You know, Jan did use his ultimate pretty well to kind of force out that flash from River to finish him off.
Wie viel Geld hast du drauf?
Absolutely looking a lot
Was ist denn für wie viel Geld hast du drauf?
Supposed to be kind of more on the back foot, absorbing the engages from TL.
Hier stinkt's nach Sportwette.
With their engage. I mean, we're closing in on 20 minutes. I don't think we've seen a single Vi ult be on the same screen basically as APA. Like, that is the combo that you're kind of drafting for, and they have never been able to.
Ja, das Problem ist, dass eigentlich TL auf 2 Items richtig spiken sollte. Problem ist, sie werden sehr outspiked. Also die sind halt itemtechnisch so behind, wenn sie 2 Items haben, dass es vielleicht nicht mattert.
All right, as we are about to hit that 20-minute mark, let's take stock of everything, because 100 Thieves does have a pretty strong gold lead now.
Also im Gameplay kann man nicht die Probleme sagen. Komm, hast du gewettet?
On the side of Team Liquid. That
Oder bist du einfach nur Feuer und Flamme für Liquid?
That'll alleviate some of the pressure there of that gold lead. But the big thing I'm also looking for, completed items. Second item fully completed there for Quid with the Orianna. As Jan's in some danger.
Equalizer ist ziemlich disgusting. Equalizer, ach du Scheiße. Impact, brother.
The calling is enough to set it up for Quid to get a killing spree. Impact's the one who gets cooked.
And Sniper wasn't even there, right? Again, at this fight, this is another example of just this kind of Rumble, Vi, Talia composition, like topside, really not being well coordinated.
Ja, Equalizer war disgusting. Und way too overstepped.
It could just give 100
Impact.
It's looking like it will. I mean, and they just kind of way overcommitted. Impact wanted to try to turn around this aggressive play that was coming in onto Jan, but fighting through a Braum is one of the hardest things to do in League. You get tagged, you get stunned up, and then you're going to eat the entire culling to the face while Braum has the shield up, while Braum has the locket and the heal and everything there to answer. Yes, you get a tier 1 tower. I don't even think they're going to get the second charge, but they're losing the Otacon in the meantime. And that is a pretty hefty price to pay, even though it doesn't show in the gold lead right now. That is a lot of adaptive.
Aegis Pro kommt jetzt durch, by the way, der ist.
Yeah, I do like TL's.
Jetzt ist halt wirklich Tanky, aber das ist gefällt mir immer nicht. Ich brauche jetzt AP von dir, Bruder. Du brauchst Quid, du musst jetzt Deathcap kaufen.
I actually do like that they are not going to contest that Otacon and try to get some other stuff on the map for themselves. Maybe regroup, be able to get a neutral objective setup where they can get the wall in, where they can follow up on a Vi engage.
Setzt einen Hut auf, ja.
Yeah, I actually
okay, das ist auch fein.
Them not contesting it and basically
das ist auch okay.
Like, okay, you guys get Otacon, we regroup, we get some turrets off the map, we maybe can spread pressure out there. But to your point, Isaac, I think they're in a lot of trouble with this 100 Thieves composition. Being able to set up at neutral objectives for 100 Thieves with the plus adaptive force from the Otacon, it's just going to be really way more difficult for them to burst down a priority target.
Carries on both sides, armed with 2 fully completed
APA
items
wird bench, die haben mit dem anderen Miteinander getraut, zumindest.
Line of 100 Thieves with those second items fully completed and
Man kauft die Ori keinen Hut, ja. I mean, I don't know. Ich glaube, Hut wäre mehr Damage, aber.
Though it is just this 1k gold lead, the extra adaptive force is worth 1600 bonus gold, you know, 400 Thieves. So there's a lot of gold that is not actually showing on the scoreboard right now. You can see APA doing what APA does. He's playing through that side lane. So the gold lead is gone. It's just the adaptive force has the advantage. 100 Thieves first to start the dragon here, looking for soul points.
Okay,
100 Thieves with control over the Drake, burning it down pretty swiftly. UG not anywhere nearby to try to steal this one away.
I guess Average Level von der LEC ist ein bisschen höher, wahrscheinlich. Vermutlich ist Average Level der LEC höher. Weil die Bottom 4 Teams halt wirklich bodenlos sind. FBI kommt raus. FBI den Culling canceln. Oh mein Gott, Jonas flasht. Nein, ist gut. Es ist gut. Es ist gut. GG.
Liquid can't get anything. 100 Thieves scramble and rally, and Team Liquid has to run for their lives. A decimating smash.
Wohl gut, das honestly sehr guter Disengage.
100 Thieves just plays it better.
100 Thieves make it happen once again. This time it's Yuji going to the backline onto FBI. Jan is able to follow up. The equalizer was there. Obviously, APA is not going to be in range, but FBI is able to survive for so long, get so much damage out, and really turn around this fight. You know, Yuji is looking in, trying to hopefully hit the Q on FBI, does not get it, throws the ulti down, and then everything is thrown here. But look at the shields coming through. There's the shield from
Sehr geiler Disengage. Und deshalb wohl Impact nicht mal reinkommen, Sniper nicht mal reinkommen in den Fight, ne?
Passive applied by Ayla onto Jan allows FBI to win out in that duel. And on the other side, Quid barely survives.
Ich glaube, Nate ist noch offiziell ich glaube, dem gehören noch Stocks, aber ich glaube nicht, dass er noch CEO ist. Offiziell, ich weiß nicht.
In the front line, him and Sniper are untouched, cannot be knocked down. 100 Thieves playing this comp out really, really well, and it looks like they're starting to run away with this game.
We got the Golden Glue reaction. That's how you know that the game is swinging the way of 100 Thieves. Golden Glue's got his positive reactions.
Yuji nicht gut genug. Ja, hätten sie nur Umti, ne?
And now we're seeing the dividends. That earlier Drake Isaac that you talked about, I think there should have at least been a smart.
Der FBI outspiked halt hart, ne? Sobald er seine AI fertig hat, knallt.
100 Thieves getting that one for free has put them in a spot where they felt more motivated to secure the subsequent dragons. Now they're on Soul Point. Now there's all that extra pressure on Team Liquid for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's back-to-back dragons. Well, now
what the fuck?
For a potential fight here, but
what the fuck?
Okay, Sniper, he eats a lot of projectiles, but he's a pretty tanky boy, so I don't think it's that big of a concern here. You do have the rest of 100 Thieves grouping up.
I mean, Atakan Start für 100 Thieves ist just a matter of time.
A little bit careful. They do want to fight over this Skull Crab. A little bit more damage under that one. Ain't gonna matter. APA has to flash away. Sniper doesn't.
Shut off call JJ. Shut off call JJ. Wait, what?
Team Liquid flying into the
Wait, what?
and FBI is assassinated.
Der FBI sind tot und es ist ein Winning Fight für Team Liquid. Aber was ist da gerade mit Call JJ passiert?
Really nice response from TL. That's probably the most well-coordinated fight, and I think it came off of a little bit of discoordination from 100 Thieves, right? If Sniper is going to be the front line on this Scion, he's going to have to kind of protect for them a little bit better, and this is going to automatically give the Baron over to TL.
Zeig mir das Replay bitte, was ist mit Call JJ passiert da? Insaner Turnaround außerdem von Team Liquid. Insaner Turnaround. Clutch Teamfighting. Und das ist sehr wichtig, weil jetzt können die nämlich Mitte Bot siegen und die haben 2 Minuten auf den Drake noch. Also es wird wahrscheinlich ein Drake danach.
It absolutely is, and I mean, it was 100 Thieves though that were posturing very aggressively. You know, they were obviously confident to take a fight.
Zeig mal her, schaut auf Call JJ.
Actually behind TL for a while, and as they go forward here, I think they just lose track of the engagement. Yuji,
what?
Both into the back line. In comes the Weaver's wall, locking him off.
Als der Talia-Ulti rauskam?
FBI just gone immediately.
Was war denn das?
Quid is compared to the rest of his team. There's the front line. Quid is way over on the other side.
Coming over 2-0 Talk.
You know, 100 Thieves, instead of actually pulling back and peeling, their front line was diving, and their carries were left completely exposed, and they get punished the maximum amount.
And once a fight separates like that for TL, it is really nice to be able to see, like, for example, Yuji and Jan be able to go in, actually assassinate FBI on the backline, right? This composition, when
Kaufland, ich hasse die so sehr.
isolate key targets, can
ich hasse Kaufland so sehr.
down. And then, yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a 100 Thieves classic, where sometimes when they get into these more standard front-to-back team fights, I do think they don't necessarily look as well coordinated as they do in more like separated skirmishes. And I believe we saw that there.
This is the question now. Does 100 Thieves actually try to challenge at this dragon? It's going to be tough for them.
Sponsoring? Nope.
One ward down in the river.
Nope, aber Kaufland macht mich sauer.
Kind of approaching the river as well.
Weil Jessler sehr mag.
Play through mid lane to actually get some push. They would love to be able to contest her soul, but I think it's going to be very hard for them to actually get over there.
It'll be tough, man. Terminus fully completed for Jan as well with the
Die sind so ahead.
Bloom just coming on there.
Die Brüder bei Team Liquid.
So 3 items.
Die Brüder bei Team Liquid sind so viel stärker jetzt.
On Team Liquid's going to feel very
jetzt Shepard.
into what could be a fight for the soul if 100 Thieves wants to try to contest there. Also the armband.
Kein Flash bei Impact. Oh mein Gott, Sniper, Bro. Zieh doch durch. Geiler Catch auf River. Oh, die schauen auf die Ori-Ulti, ne? Schaut mal. Aber er verliert so viel HP. Ulti ist raus. Was macht der FBI? Was macht der FBI? Oh mein Gott, was hat FBI gemacht? Dieser Freak. Alter. Ey, nee, Mann.
Yeah, and they're going to lose a lot off the back of this. At least this tier 2 tower here. You would think the tier 2 tower through bottom as well.
Oh mein Gott, was hat er da gemacht?
They're going to be taking everything at the same
So disgusting.
time. Because TL again cut out the carry. And this time, FBI had the flash, had the barrier, loses both, loses his life. And it's going to mean those next fights are that.
Du hast gesagt, es kann nicht schlimmer werden. Lasst mich doch einfach in Ruhe. Ich wurde heute so durchgereicht, was Costumes angeht, bitte. Give me a break, so. Give me a fucking break.
Get onto FBI immediately and then clean up on the map. The first time it was Baron, now with Baron buff.
First time was so nice, I had to do it twice. Jedes Prime League Team.
Able to open up the map
I'm
and
griefing.
bot.
When you draft a champ whose job is to kill one dude, your fights look pretty good when you start by killing that one dude.
True.
Team Liquid has found their recipe for success.
Seit T1, ja legit, seit T1 Genji klebt so in mir. Was war jetzt alles so los? Crossman gegen Austin Force. Das Gottlos, der Best of 3 in der ganz langen Zeit. Okay, er lebt. AP hat kein Flash, aber wow, Flashing Edge von Core ist gut. Sehr schön von Core JJ. Lecker, lecker. Gut geflashter Q von Yuji, stirbt aber. Equalizer ist lecker. Jorn geht in die Backline rein. Schön. Schön. Das sollte mal eine gute Serie halten.
Yeah, TL are looking like they just want to push through mid lane here. At the very least, they're going to crack.
Kann wahrscheinlich sogar finishen nach 40
The
Sekunden.
start of the fight looked pretty good for 100 Thieves, but it was a beautiful Q flash from Yuji that actually found FBI, that sets up this re-engage, kills FBI off once again, and as soon as he's gone, they just don't have the damage to get through the fight. 100 Thieves will stay alive. We'll have to drop that inhibitor here and are getting further and further behind now. These fights are getting a lot better here from TL. And
Flashplay von Core ist gut.
As it happens from UG on FBI, because the start of this fight honestly looks pretty good. I mean, APA is getting put really low. They're not
UG Flash war auch gut. Ist nicht der, aber der nächste ist gut.
Right here, FBI gets found and they're able to actually go back in on it.
Geiler Snap Engage.
Yeah, and again, once they're able
Sehr geiler Snap Engage.
FBI separated, able to get the combination, this time the Kaisa with the Equalizer and the Talia wall. It looks really, really good for TL, because again, they can just get all of that burst damage down.
So let's just speak objectively and plainly about it right now. Is there a way that 100 Thieves can even win a team fight at this point without Team Liquid massively misplaying? Because all of these recent fights have not been close.
No, I wouldn't think so, you know, without some sort of misplay. I mean, you could definitely get picks and things like that, but I think it's going to be really hard for FBI to stay alive. Like, he is clearly the target, especially when you realize there's double Zonias, there's a Seekers, and there's a GA. So there's 4 kind of like resets or immunities for TL.
All right, Equalizer ready to lay out the red carpet for Yuji's entry, and immediately the burst is down, this time onto Quid. Stays alive, but immediately Core JJ is ready to follow it up. Team Liquid continues their push. River's the next to die.
Gold difference at this point.
Sniper's already in the dirt, and that Scion is on the run. Team Liquid has nothing left standing between them and the enemy Nexus. APA is going to try to pad the kills. Just, he doesn't have one. He needs to try to get one kill before the end of the game. He'll look to chase down Sniper and try to secure it, while the rest of Team Liquid is not concerned with the stats. They're concerned with the Nexus.
Gutes Comeback.
Turrets are already going to fall.
Gutes Comeback, aber ich bin nicht zufrieden.
Unfortunately, will not grab his kill before the end of the
Aber das stimmt, Core JJ zaubert den Fight. Das stimmt. Das stimmt absolut.
Team Liquid, they came back.